G'day everyone, you found the Champ Dog. Hope you're as proud of yourselves as I am. So today we've got some more MTG Arena content, and we're ripping off Croaky's today. So this is his Naya Adventures list that he posted to his Twitter a few days ago now, and was claiming as an early contender for the best deck in Standard. Now, we're doing a bit of a take two today. I had recorded myself playing my first ever game with this list, but unfortunately, due to some technical issues, that footage is not usable. Having some issues with my microphone and my computer not registering that it's connected at times, even though the microphone is showing that it is connected. So this is going to be our second ever game with the deck. Basic idea of the deck is the adventure package. You all remember Edgewall, Innkeeper, and Bonecrusher Giant and Lovestruck Beast. Do you remember Kazandu Mammoth from Gruul, the landfall thing? So it's basically that, and instead of going blue for Tamora Adventures or just sticking in Gruul colors, we're going into white to Naya, so specifically for Showdown of the Scald. So this is a really powerful card advantage mechanism that you guys are going to be seeing a lot of over the next season. And it's sort of, if you look at it sideways, it's like a new version of Escape to the Wilds into more adventures, with the advantage that you can bounce it with Shepherd of the Flock. So I think we all knew going into Kaldheim that the most powerful things existing already were Embercleave, the Great Henge, and Yorion. And from going through Kaldheim, obviously there are some really solid cards, but nothing that's individually on the power level of Embercleave, Great Henge, or Yorion. But it did provide a lot of good things to play with those cards. For example, Showdown of the Scalds here, one of the more powerful cards out of Kaldheim, and we're combining it with these two Busted Eldraine cards. And obviously all of the sagas play really well with Yorion. So you're not likely to not be seeing some of the same old familiar faces in the upcoming Standard. You're just likely to see some new support cards going along with them. So this is one of the decks that you're probably going to be seeing a lot of, so I wanted to show it off to you guys if you haven't seen it, in case you've been living in a cave recently, or you don't follow Croaky's on Twitch or YouTube. I actually don't use Twitch at all, but I do occasionally watch his videos on YouTube. Let's jump on in, and I'll give you some more thoughts after the games. I did already have like a wrap up and everything planned for the previous video, but as I said, the gameplay footage was not usable. So we'll just jump into game 2 and see how we feel afterwards. We couldn't find map A, but we have found map B here. We're going to take the play, obviously. This hand is okay without being amazing. I guess I can play this for green, this for red, this for white, and just see what we draw. Obviously would have liked to play Eddie turn 1, but I think it's better to play the Mammoth and make sure we hit our colors. I swapped to the little berry boy over here. You can make him eat the fishy. I'm just going to play out Eddie here. When you do, he changes forms, so that's what the bear does. Cool. That's the interaction. Okay, we're up against the me ramp. Or something. I don't actually know what we're up against here. We're going to see if they take the bait here. I mean, it could just be a Demir Fatel control list, but this guy functions as ramp. Okay, they do not take the bait. So we're just going to play out Bonecrusher as a creature here, draw the card. I don't mind losing the stop. Doesn't matter, we're drawing a card to replace it anyway. Oh, this is looking spicy. This is looking very spicy indeed. Now we have another white source, so this can be red pretty easily. We'll attack with both. They didn't block last turn, so we'll see if they want to block this turn. They don't, so that's 2 free points of damage we've got so far. So if a creature gets killed, we can Masked Vandal to kill off the Underworld Dreams, which will be pretty ripe. Okay, well they killed off the creature, but not in a way that helps us. So we'll just try and get as much value as we can out of this. Is it worth playing the Masked Vandal? I mean, it doesn't really do anything. I could just play another Showdown. Means I no longer have the 1/1 for Lovestruck Beast, but I've got an Eddie in my hand to deal with that. And we can now bounce one of these Showdowns as well. Cool, foretell something. That is fine. Ember Reaper. So I think I want to play this as my land for turn, even though it limits what else I can do. I just want to get the maximum value out of this while I can. Do I let the Giant Killer go? No, I have to. I don't have sufficient mana to play it anymore. So I guess I'm playing this. Bang. 3/5 straight away. Beautiful. We've just generated so much value there. We still have 2 more to play. Sorry, just chewing on ice, having a protein shake. Okay, see what they do here. We'd love for them to tap out and do something else. Blood Chiefs first, it seems reasonable. So we don't want to get a Showdown countered, and they are showing us blue mana. So we're going to get our value this way. Okay. Make themselves a 1/1. So we'll have 3 mana left. What's the best way for us to use it? I guess we just want to stomp the shark token. Where did my life token go? Where did my life total go? Yep, still got a 5-5 over here. So we're gonna threaten Embercleave here. Yep, demands a counter spell. Recast this. Bit of lag here. Bit of lag. Draw a couple cards of this. I mean, this is where our life total is going. Interesting deck our opponent's playing. It's a slightly more aggressive control list. They got it. Oh, beautiful. They got the combo. So that was a pretty fun way to lose. So I think we want to change our deck layout. Clothis seems good here. Phoenix seems good. All of the removal we saw was exile, but they'll probably bring in a bit more. I don't think we need Giant Killer. If I take out Scoos, what would I bring in? I mean, I could bring in ECD or Glass Casket to get rid of the what's-its, but nah, I think we just try like this. So they're using the Foretell to get a discount on Peer into the Abyss. That's their game plan. It's just a little bit unfortunate there. I mean, this hand's keepable. It's not amazing, but we have all of our colours. We've got a curve up to 4. Sure. So it looks like the aim of their deck is to slow us down just enough to get to the Peer into the Abyss Underworld Dreams combo. I think we just play Clothis here. They really have not liked blocking with these Dream Devourers. I guess they're good for chip damage, and they're also pretty essential to get their expensive cards in play. Bit of life back. Okay, so if I play the Mammoth, I can play the Mammoth into Ooze. Yep, that's fine. Attack for 3. The 1/1 counter mode is pretty nuts as well, like even off creature spells. Showdown is just so good. Cool. Might as well play out the beast. Should have done that before combat. That's a point of damage I missed. My fault entirely. Still vulnerable to Extinction Event here, unfortunately. Oh, that's their whole turn. It's a bit anemic. And I'm just going to pump here. If I play the Bone Crusher Giant, we still get blown out by Extinction Event. And yeah, there's really no need to add to the board at the moment. And they scoop it up. Still lagging here, but they have scoops. There we go. Do I want to change anything? No, I think this is a pretty good setup. The early Clothis is always difficult for these sorts of decks to deal with. And I mean, they also didn't hit their combo pieces. I mean, this hand obviously sucks. This is an easy mull. This hand is better. What do I put back? I guess a showdown. It hurts, but... Okay, so we've drawn another red, so this can be our green source. I'm going to hold off playing this as a land. I'll play this on turn 2. If I need to, this will be turn 3 and this turn 4. And they've been so consistent with having the old Devourer, haven't they? take the 2, no worries. Okay. This can be white, yep. So we're in a pretty good position. We've got a showdown, potentially Great Henge next turn. We'd obviously love to hit a Masked Vandal to kill off Underworld Dreams. Oh, they got it again. Oh, this is a fun deck. Boom. What a way. And it's a little awkward, but it's certainly not bad. We'll keep it, definitely. We've got all our lands. We've got a big 5/5. Swarm Chandler. Okay, so chop down might actually be good here. So this looks like some sort of mono-green snow stompy with our Blessing of Frost. That's what I'm predicting. That is my prediction. Take our 2 here. Ow. Yovo, sure. And there's our boy. Just being on the draw feels really painful here though. Like this Yovo can easily become a 5/5. Take a block there. Make a token. And I'm going to chop down while we can, because they could be playing Snakeskin Veil. But yeah, just because we're on the draw here, like we have to be a little bit more defensive, because we're already on 14. We can't just slam our showdown. Yeah. Block that hit. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just get steamrolled, don't you? So I mean, it doesn't really matter what we do here, we're gonna die. We can play Showdown and hold up a Giant Killer activation, but they're just gonna eat things from our yard with Scoos and kill us. So yeah, I think we just concede and move on to game 2. So this is something I was feeling, I've been feeling with this deck. Sometimes you just wish it was a little more aggressive. I think a Current War is good here. I think Glass Casket is good here. I don't think Masked Vandal is awful here. Probably want to cut some of my value plays. Well, I think just having Masked Vandal as a one-off is fine. So we'll just see how we go like this. I don't really know what's correct here. Obviously being on the play is going to make a huge difference. Like, we just had a slightly awkward hand and we got steamrolled there. And our opponent curved out like a god. Nothing to play the Giant Killer with at the moment, but we can fetch that with the passage. I'm just going to play this as a creature. So we found our white. This can be red. This will be green for the Mammoth. And next turn we can Great Henge. Nessian Hornbeetle, huh? Send in the Mammoth. Play a Henge. I want to play the Henge first so I have more mana next turn when I play Showdown. Gem Razor. Unfortunate. Take 4 here. We can use Giant Killer on this next turn. Okay, so I'm going to mount it here. Get in for 7. Can't play anything, unfortunately. Ooh. That hurts. So we're going to take 9 here. Take 10. They both have trample, don't they? soak up a bit of damage. Swarm Shambler. I think we hold up the chop downs. Now that they're tapped out. Excellent. Didn't get any value off that showdown. What do you do? Play these out, so if I play a blocker next turn we can tap it down. What have they got in hand that they didn't play anything last turn? Not much, obviously, and they skewed. Would I rather have ECD than Hinge? I don't think so, but like our stuff just is just going to keep getting blown up. I think that's just how it is. We'll see how we go. Has my opponent actually played any new cards? Any card home ones? Or they just playing mono green Stompy and that's it? Just an old mono green Stompy list. Cool, we drew an untapped green source, so we'll lead on Eddie. Get our value while they're getting this good. Hopefully they just mutate here. Nope. No such luck. Draw a card. Play a fatty. No attacks, obviously, they can pump both of these. Well, they just only pump one, so they must have a snakeskin veil here. Oh no, this one had our summoning sickness, didn't it? Makes sense, makes a lot of sense. Really wish I had another red source, you know? Cool. I'm pretty okay with this. Actually hadn't thought about that, but it's fine. Got more fatties where that came from. Yep, activate. Nessian Horn Beetle. Yeah, I mean, this thing can get out of control, but you need the other creatures to enable it. Fight effect? Sure. Steal the beetle. We want them to keep putting money into the shambler. Mana into the shambler. Then when it gets big enough, we can just kill it. Get him that 5/5. Might as well steal it, actually. Now, why would it tap like that and not leave us a green to activate? It's colorless anyway. So if they have the snakeskin veil, that'll draw it out. They do not. Play this as a land just to get a bit more damage from the mammoth. We're just going to play this out as a... Okay, they scoop it up. That's the deck, guys. Yeah, bunch of value creatures and some value engines combined with a fair bit of aggression. That's about it. So you're hoping against like control decks to grind them out with like Showdown and Great Henge. Against other creature decks, you're hoping to go over the top by like having bigger creatures, stealing their stuff, and again, just getting heaps of value. You do have Embercleave for the surprise win, but in this list it's only a one-off. I don't know if Crokies is updated or not. So what do I think about the deck? So the first game that I played, which you guys didn't get to see, it felt really uncomfortable. The mana felt really awkward. But to be fair, this is a style of deck I'm not at all used to playing. I've not played any adventure deck up until this point. And I usually don't play particularly creature-based decks. Even when I play mid-rangey decks, they tend to be more removal and interaction heavy and less light on creature. So it's an uncomfortable deck for me to pilot. It honestly felt a lot smoother in the last two games. My concerns are, like, obviously you saw against that Dimir deck, we're just not quite aggressive enough to have closed those games out before our opponent could hit their combo. And that is something that Crokies mentioned as well in one of his videos with this deck, that he thinks it'll be one of the best decks in the format, or the best deck in the format, unless some of the Urian lists get really well tuned and just end up being too much, or if some faster combo deck finds a way in the format. And that's obviously what that Dimir list was. It was the old Underworld Dreams Peer into the Abyss combo deck enabled by the Dream Devourer to speed everything up a couple of turns. So that combo is a lot faster than it would typically be. So I don't know how consistent that Demi list would be. Obviously, if you don't draw the Dream Devourer or either of the two pieces, you're in a bit of trouble. And it seemed like their game plan was to just be as controlly as possible until then, rather than just dig frantically for it and try to protect it. But that's neither here nor there. So, look, obviously this list, it has a lot of value. You did see we got run over by mono green game 1 there, because we're not super aggressive, but I mean, we had an awkward hand and our opponent drew very well. And I mean, that's the only reason mono green has existed in the format since rotation. Sometimes it just runs you over, you know, sometimes it draws like that, and there's just not much you can do, particularly when you're on the draw. But you saw in the other 2 games we were able to control the battlefield a bit better. We've also got very large creatures, and we're just able to get way more value and put our opponent too far behind to really catch up. So yeah, look, it seems like a really good deck, which makes sense even on paper. You know, Gruul Adventures being very good, and all flavors of Adventures having been very good for a while, and Great Henge and Embercleave being very good. Adding a draw 4 that's repeatable and buffs your creatures to that is obviously going to be a recipe for success. So, you know, this deck is not surprising when you look at it and think about what it does. I think Croaky's said he's going to keep tuning it, so you know, just keep an eye on his Twitter, keep an eye on his YouTube and or Twitch if that's what you guys do, if you want to see updates on it. And I mean, heaps of other people are playing versions of this as well. There's an article, I think, in Star City Games about it this week. But look, like either way, even if you don't want to play this deck, be prepared to face it. You know, people are going to be playing it. It's a good deck. I'm surprised how much smoother the mana felt those games. Obviously, you need to think about things and plan it out. Like, are you going to have double green for the Mammoth? Can you play Shadow Skull Smashing? Do you have, you know, obviously you mostly want green and red in the first few turns for like Stomp and that, and you need red for this, but then you need to also have the white on turn 4 for Showdown. So it requires a little bit of planning and thought, but you just generate so much value as well. The only time it really feels awkward, turn 4 Showdown is a little bit awkward because you can't really do much with the cards. And as you saw in that mono green game 1, if you're under a lot of pressure, you know, it can just sort of do not much for you. But yeah, otherwise, like, you're just generating so much value. You have such big creatures in your 3-drop slot, which enables Henge so easily, which is just more value. It's a bit ridiculous. I, you know, don't think fighting this as a control deck will be very fun at all. But, you know, we'll see what happens as the season and the format develops. Until our next video, thanks for watching, guys. Look after yourselves, be kind to yourself and each other. Stay brilliant.